So now let's look at factorising trinomials and quadratics. Okay, so first of all, what is a trinomial? Well, say we have a pair of brackets here and we were to expand these, as in previous videos, what we'd get is x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now what we notice here is we have three terms, hence the trinomial, and the three terms here are the x squared, the 5x and the 6. Or what we could say is that we have terms of x squared, x to the power of 1 and x to the power of 0 here. Now it's x to the power of 0 because anything raised to the power of 0 is just 1, so this will be 6 times x to the power of 0, which is just 6. Alright, so we have a trinomial in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c. The squared term in this makes it a quadratic expression. Quadratic because it's square, quad meaning 4, and a square has 4 sides. So anything with a square term like this as the highest power we call a quadratic expression. So the question is, how do we factorise a quadratic trinomial such as something like this? Okay, so let's have a look at factorising a quadratic. Now first of all, I'll just put this up here so we remember the form, ax squared plus bx plus c. Now we have x squared plus 5x plus 6. Well, before we move to factorise it, it's good to know that what we've got is we have 1x squared. So in this case, the a will be 1. If we're comparing it to the general form here, the a will be 1 because it's 1x squared. What will b be? Well, b will be 5. And c will be 6. So we call this a unitary quadratic because the leading term, the leading coefficient a is 1. So we're going to factorise this expression here. So when we factorise a unitary quadratic such as this, what we want is we want two brackets. So we want a pair of brackets because we're going to be multiplying each term with itself. So in the first term in both brackets is going to be x, because when we multiply these two together we're going to get the x squared term. Now we need to figure out what number goes in the brackets. So the technique that we use here is we want two numbers that add to give 5 and we want two numbers that multiply to give 6. So we have to think of two numbers that add to give 5 but also multiply to give 6. So the first thing to do is we'll look at the factors of 6. So what two numbers multiply to give 6? Well, we've got 1 times 6 and we've also got 2 times 3. So which of these pairs add up to give 5? Well, it's the second one here, 2 times 3. So these are the two numbers that we use for the brackets. So what we're having is we've got x plus 2 and x plus 3. Or we could have added x plus 3 and x plus 2. It doesn't really matter. Because when we multiply it, when we expand this, multiply out the brackets, we'd have x times x plus 3 plus 2 times x plus 3, which becomes x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6, and then simplifying, that gives us back to our unitary quadratic. So this is a very robust technique. So let's go and try another one. How about x squared plus 7x plus 12? Again, what we want is we want a pair of brackets with an x term in the leading part of the bracket, because when we multiply these two together we're going to get x squared. Now we just have to figure out what are the two numbers here. So again, what we want is we want two numbers that add to give 7 but multiply to give 12. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out the factors of 12. Factors of 12, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. So which of these add up to give 7? Well, clearly it is this one here. So these are the two numbers that go into the brackets here. And when we multiply these out, we're going to have x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 12, which simplifies to x squared plus 7x plus 12. Quite straightforward actually. So we'll get a lot of practice this, but when asked to factor a unitary quadratic, such as x squared plus bx plus c, what we want to do is we want to split this into two brackets with the x term in each bracket, just like this. And what we're going to do is we want to find the factors of c. So two numbers that multiply to give c, but they add up to give b. So two numbers here, when we multiply these, they give us c, and when we add them up, they give us b. Alright.